The Africanist experimental jazz band iPhupho, L'ka Biko will release their debut EP, Azania. The band has devoted the past year to recording and producing this eagerly anticipated EP following the success of their two acclaimed singles, Abaphezulu, which was released through Brownswood Recordings, and uKhona, which will be released through ALTBLK in 2021. Well, in fact, that was earlier. Spiritually, Pan-Africanism, freedom, love, ritual, tradition, culture, and displacement are just a few of the many topics that Azania delves into. Now, joining us in studio, well, we've got the band behind us, but we're only going to speak to two members of the band, Ntlatla Ngqaqu, as well as Pulani Mafati. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning.
In fact, we must welcome everybody, but we're going to speak to these two. Pulani, speak to us about this concept. How did you guys come together? I believe it's been a year. Tell us a little bit about how you guys came together.
Well, we've been together for 7 years now.
Okay.
And we meet in different spaces.
Right.
So I think we've got a long history with how our band leader interacts with us. So some were met at church, others through the communities of jazz, others through the Fees Must Fall movement. I know for a fact that I met them during the height of the Fees Must Fall movement, so it was in 2015, and this is when the band actually kind of gains traction, through the communities of Braamfontein, speaking truth to power, asking for free education, all of that. And yeah, that's how we kind of solidify this family. Yes. that we've kind of formed with one another.
And Ntlatla, Pulani just spoke about how you guys are a family. I mean, speak to us about how you met. I mean, there's so many of you, and I imagine the creative minds when they all come together to create this beautiful music. Tell us a little bit about that.
It was all an organic process in terms of how we met, because I believe you first have to connect on a spiritual level before you actually engage into the craft, the actual music. So KK, we went to VET together, Pulani Sbusiso from the VET School of Arts, Moketsi, Miseka Gaqa as well. And that we met at the National Arts Festival in Makanda, although he's from Tembisa. Sbusiso Malinsisa, I met him through Lebohang Muleleki, whom I went with to church.
I want to speak about the title Azania. Why is that title?
Azania, it has double meaning. The first meaning, it is the country that we envision. Basically, we don't agree with how things are. We don't agree with the whole notion of South Africa. And therefore, the whole ideology is that we want to experience an Azania that is liberated and whereby we are not under white power, And secondly, it also has a Hebrew meaning in terms of God is hearing us, God heard us. So we feel like after these 7 years for us to get here, it's an answered prayer. Yeah, because we're a tough journey.
Sorry about that. Pulani, speak to us about, promoting this. And I'm curious about iPhupho, L'ka Biko. And it's the one thing that, struck me when, they said this is the band that we're having in studio. Tell us about the name and how you guys came up with this name.
So iPhupho, L'ka Biko, uNhlanhla usually describes it as, iPhupho means dreams, right? So,
yes.
And we think of God as the one that gives us this dream. And L'ka Biko we're basically saying this is the dream that God gave us. If we think about Biko as the political figure that he is in South Africa, what the political ideas that he speaks about and that his entire school of thought kind of embodies. So we are basically saying that the God giving us, this dream that God gives us should be actualized through, or should be thought through how we see and think about uBiko, especially when we think about it or we bring it close to what we see or want or long for South Africa to be.
All right, you know what? I want to end this conversation because I want to hear the music. It's more about the music than us hearing about this. But guys, thank you so much for coming. Speaking to us in Ntlatla Ngqaqu, as well as Pulani Mafati, speaking to us about the highly anticipated EP Azania.